up, guys? So I'm out here camping in the back of the truck and it's pretty cold. It's 37 degrees right now. The low tonight is supposed to be 25, and then I think about 1 o'clock in the morning it's supposed to start snowing, and it's going to snow into tomorrow morning. 1 to 3 inches of snow I think is what they're calling for. So I've got the camper all set up here. I've got my Mr. Buddy heater here, and I like to set that on a metal pan just so it's not sitting right on this carpet here, because it's not carpet, it's like a plastic, I don't know, blend or something, like AstroTurf, I don't know. I added a plastic file cabinet in front. I've got some dry food in the bottom, some like extra hat and gloves and stuff in the middle, and then up top I've got like a tablet and a notebook and a light and my GoPro stuff up there. I did bring a cooler bag instead of a big cooler. I didn't expect to really need to keep anything too cold. I didn't bring much for food out here with me. I brought some like fancy Lunchables for supper, and then I've got a Mountain House meal for in the morning. So I might turn the Coleman stove on and cook that up, but we'll see if I get that ambitious with the weather. I'm not exactly sure how warm it's going to stay in there tonight. The last time I camped with 2 people in there when it was this cold, I guess you guys haven't seen it, but I have another bed that's exactly like the other one that fits on the other side, and there's a gap in the middle so that you can still sit up and put your feet down without having to scoot all the way to the end of the bed and sit up. So even with the tailgate up and the topper closed, you can still sit up and put your feet down on the ground, and it's still fairly comfortable. It just seemed like the best way for us to do it. And then the plus side to that is they're both easily removable, and it's easy to sleep with one person. Then you have all this room in there. And my kayak will slide perfectly in there if I don't want to put the racks on the roof, because they whistle and I don't like them and they need new ones, but I haven't figured out what to get yet. So yeah, I'm out here at this campsite and I'm the only person here, which doesn't really surprise me. So I think I'm going to try to do a little fishing, but I don't know if you guys will see it on this video. I think I'm just going to stick some worms and bobbers out here and see what I can catch. I did catch my PB channel catfish here, which is really weak. It's only like 8 pounds, so that ain't saying much, but I do know there's some fish in here. I did want to go over something with you guys on the camper that I didn't do on my other camper video, and that is some of the insulation. So right here I've got just some weather stripping, and it did go all the way down and around underneath this carpet here, but that piece has fallen off, and with the carpet there I'm not too worried about it. Other than that, I didn't talk about it. There are some holes that I've put some tape over, and that's foil tape. But then up under these sections here, typically it's all open to the ground. So the whole side of your truck is hollow. You know, there's just open space between this side and this side. And if you don't cover those gaps, that's all just open airflow from the bottom, from the ground. It'll come up and flow in. So there's a company that I found online, and I couldn't tell you what the name of it is now, but they had these kind of custom cut foam blocks that fit in here. So you shove a piece of foam in there, and that goes on both sides of the camper. There's also right in the middle of the bed, there's a couple of them, and then in the front I think there's either 1 or 2. I can't remember, it's been so long since they've done that. But after we added that stuff and just these couple pieces of weather stripping, it cut down the cold breeze in there a lot, and it's not something that I've really seen other people talk about. Those foam blocks are, so if you're going to camp in cold weather, or even if you want to help keep some of the dust out, it still gets kind of dusty in there if you're driving down dirt roads, but that helps to keep a lot of that out of the truck, out of the back of the truck. And then as far as running my Mr. Buddy heater, I don't get too worried about it, because if you close this up, there are gaps. I can basically stick my whole finger in on this side, and there's a gap that runs here, and then on this side it's quite a bit, it's actually a little bit bigger. I can get my whole finger inside of that thing. So there is some airflow that rolls through there. Like I said, here it's also not sealed. It's almost like I clamped the tapper down too tight or something, and it spread apart. But so all the gaps in the bed sides are sealed up, but you do get some ventilation in there, so I don't worry too much about CO2 or anything like that. I don't run that heater all night. I'll run it just to heat things up, and it's I don't remember what size of the Buddy heater is. It's got the 1 panel. There's the 2 panel ones, but it's just got the 1 ceramic panel. and running that thing on high for like 10 minutes and you're cooking in that thing. So if anything, if I get cold in the middle of the night, I can wake up and crack that thing on. So I'm just gonna enjoy the day. I really should have brought some firewood out here with me, but I did not. If I did, I would already had a fire going so I could kind of hang out outside. I've been sitting in the back of the truck since I got here. But I'm gonna get some rods rigged up and see if I can catch something, although you guys are gonna have to stay tuned for the next video to see if that actually pans out, which I really don't think it's going to, but we shall see. All right, guys, well, it's getting pretty dark out. I guess it is dark out now by the time I got it situated in here. It's starting to get pretty cold, so I'm gonna get that heater turned on pretty quick here. I guess I shouldn't turn it that way, you guys can't see it with the lights, but why don't we see if we can get this heater turned on here and get this warmed up. I did bring an cheap old thermometer with me because I'm curious to see, I'll take it out of the package, but I'm curious to see what the temperature difference is going to be inside versus outside. So once I get that heater running, I'm going to take a look at this, get that out of the package and take a look at that and see what it does for the temperature in here. So let's get this thing running. All right, we've got the gas bottle in there. Got it sitting on an old pizza pan just so it's not touching the carpet, and I've got it away from these curtains so there's nothing directly above this thing. So we're gonna pilot light. Let's see if we can get that to, there we go. You gotta hold that down for a few seconds. Then you can turn it over to the setting you desire. Let's see if it's ready to go here. Yeah, so we've got it on low. Oop, you could just see it kind of took over. Let me dim this light down. I'll put it on high and I'll dim that light down. You guys can see how that heats up. There we go. So that thing is putting off a ton of heat, and that panel will actually get bright red when it gets fully warmed up. We'll get that light back on. And so it's 37, I think, outside right now according to the weather channel app. And we'll see what this thermometer does. I'm gonna get it out of the package here. See how quickly this thing shoots up to 90. I know it's gonna get warm in here real quick. I'm already getting to the point where I feel like I need to shut it off because it is so hot. But yeah, that thing is cranking up here pretty quickly. I'm gonna set it right there. So it's sitting right on top of the wheel well. Heater, got my shoes. Empty beer bottle that if I go camping, I buy bottles with resealable lids because I'm a dude and I can pee in the back of the truck without having much issue, although that is a pretty small hole to try to hit, but it works. And having something that works like that is all that really matters. I wonder if this light is bright enough. Can you guys see me? But yeah, it works, and that's all you need, so you don't have to get out in the truck in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, and then the truck is also then really cold again right away. So whew, it is getting hot in here. I can take my stocking cap off for sure. You definitely couldn't leave that thing running overnight. There's no way in hell, at least not with as much insulation as I've got in here. It would just burn. I'm already about ready to start sweating, but I'd just like to see what that temperature, kind of get it to the point that I can't even stand how warm it is in here, and then I'll shut that thing off, see what the temperature reads, and then I'd like to see how long it takes for it to get cold again. I've got all the windows covered up. All of the curtains are closed on everything, front and the back, sides, everything's shut. I don't have like any actual insulation on the windows. I've thought about getting the Reflectix and then putting that on there. I can stick that on there behind the curtains and see if that helps at all. Man, it's getting too dang hot in here. What is this? Already above 50. What is that? Looks like about 52. and it is climbing quick. So we're gonna get it up to 60. We're gonna get it to where this thermometer says 60 degrees, and then, which is only gonna take a couple more seconds. 59. I hope you guys can actually see that on the camera. I'm kind of doubting that you're gonna be able to see it, but all right, we just cracked 60 on here. Yeah, you can see that. So I'm gonna shut that heater off and keep an eye on that and see how long it takes to go back down to probably 40. I'm guessing it won't. I mean, if it's 37 hour outside right now, it's probably not gonna get that much cooler in here. But it is supposed to hit 25 tonight, and with wind chills, I don't know how cold it's actually gonna be, but I gotta shut this thing off before I sweat to death in here. Well, I'm gonna pull, let's see, I'm gonna pull the old tablet out here. Get this thing cranked on. And I've got some movies downloaded off of Netflix. Please tell me the batteries aren't dead, although I've got, there we go. So, I'm gonna get a movie going, and I'm gonna keep an eye on that thermometer and see what happens. See how quickly it cools off in here. So I'll get back to you guys in a second. Not a bad way to spend the evening. All right, y'all. So it has been about an hour and 45 minutes, and it dropped from 60 degrees down to 50 degrees. And so I turned the heater back on, and I've brought it now up to 70 degrees. You guys can see that on there. Let's see. Oop, better hold it the right direction. Nope, that was the wrong direction. Try to get that in there for you. So I've brought it up to 70, and that should keep me warm for quite a while, since it took about 2 hours for it to drop 10 degrees in here. So I'm hoping that I got it a little bit warmer now, that it will stay a little bit warmer longer. I've maybe warmed the interior panels up more. Yeah, it is toasty in here now. So it's about 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna hit the hay. I probably stayed up way later than I needed to, but I wanted to dick around with this heater and see how well it worked back here, because I haven't really actually taken any measurements. So hasn't started snowing yet or anything. It is, last I looked, it was 30 degrees out. So the fact that it stayed so warm in here for as long as it has is surprising. But then again, your individual results may vary. So I don't know. With all the curtains and everything, it seems pretty warm. I mean, I can touch them and they're not too cool. I think if I did put that reflectix over the windows and then had that curtain layer on there, that would help quite a bit. But we'll see if I make the decision to do that and see how cold it is in here when I wake up. But then again, that thing warms it up. I can feel a little bit of breeze down near my toes where the gate's at. Like I said, it's not completely sealed in there, so I know I am getting oxygen in here with that. But I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I got up a few minutes ago and got the heater cranked on in here. When I woke up, it was like 44, 42, 44 in here. Not terribly bad considering it was I think 27 outside when I checked. And I've got it up now to a balmy 68. Feels nice in here. I chose not to cook my mountain house this morning. I did not want to get out and set the stove up because it has just started to snow a little bit finally. Flurries are starting to come down. I don't know if you guys can actually see that on the video or not, but I'm drinking me some Starbucks, trying to wake up, and I'm gonna have myself a little cinnamon cake from that I picked up from Walmart, so I didn't have to cook this morning if I didn't feel like it. But it wasn't a bad night in here. It stayed pretty warm most of the night, and with the sleeping bag that I have and the blanket, I was more than warm enough. I do have thermal line jeans on and a thermal shirt under this hoodie and t-shirt, but I stayed incredibly warm, so I can't complain about that. I'll be doing a lot more winter camping this year based on that fact. Although I would like to get a pop-up ice hub, I think, and put a wood stove in it. If you guys would like to see that, drop a comment down below and let me know. But I'm gonna start getting packed up, I think, and I'm gonna head home. I've got a couple catfish that I've got to clean up that I did catch yesterday, so you guys need to make sure to stay tuned for the next video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that one. We're gonna cook those guys up and see how they taste. But I'm gonna get everything loaded up here, get the heater off and let it cool down a little bit, and get my breakfast ate. I've actually been sitting here watching a movie. As I just woke up, I turned that on. But yeah, it's starting to come down. I don't know how much we're actually supposed to get. I thought it was supposed to snow overnight, but it didn't, so. It's really starting to snow out there now. Big fat snowflakes. Definitely ready for ice season. I can't wait for these lakes to freeze over and get out there. It is cold out there. I've got the heater running. Probably should have paused that movie that I'm watching, but it's not bad. Not bad weather at all. Hard to see all the snow on this camera, I guess. I need to get packed up and get headed home. I kind of just want to sit here and watch it though. I'm headed home. I really appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the next adventure. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see that catfish catch and cook from the kitties I caught yesterday while I was out here. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Stay tuned for the next adventure.